Today we're taking a look at these college basketball matches, which are happening on Wednesday, February 1st, 2023, and giving you our team. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and push that notification bell to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and make sure to watch it till the end, so you don't miss any of our picks. Also check out our Patreon if you want access our premium picks. Our Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. You will find the link in description and comment section below. One more thing before we start, check out our new channel High Stakes Props and Parlays, where you can find our player props and parlay picks predictions. You will find the link in the description and comment section below. The Penn State Nittany Lions visit McKay Arena in West Lafayette, Indiana on Wednesday for a Big Ten battle against the number 1 ranked Purdue Boilermakers. Penn State improved to 14-7 overall, and 5-5 in Big Ten play following its 83-61 victory over the Michigan Wolverines on Sunday. Penn State has alternated between wins and losses in each of its last 6. The Nittany Lions are 4-1 ATS in their last 5 games overall, and the Boilermakers are 2-9-2 ATS in their last 13 home games versus a team with a road winning percent of less than .40. Plus, the road team is 7-2-1 ATS in the last 10 meetings, and the underdog is 7-3-1 ATS in the last 11 meetings. Give me the Nittany Lions plus 11. Purdue is getting the results at once on this scoreboard, but its spread bettors would disagree. 21-1 and 9-11-2 ATS, the Boilermakers are a tough team to side with, especially in this game. Head coach Micah Shrewsbury's Nittany Lions are a much better team this season. Pickett is a first-team All-Big Ten lock, and Lundy and Funk aren't too shabby, either. They're top 30 in offensive efficiency and solid enough on the other end of the court to pick up an ATS win at Purdue in their second meeting. Xavier Musketeers vs Providence Friars. The number 17 ranked Providence Friars visit Cintas Center in Cincinnati, Ohio on Wednesday for a Big East matchup against the number 16 ranked Xavier Musketeers. Providence improved to 17-5 overall, and 9-2 in Big East play following its 70-65 victory over the Villanova Wildcats on Sunday. Jared Bynum was the leading scorer for Providence with 19 points. Providence is tied for first place in the conference with Xavier and Marquette. This is the top matchup of the day in college basketball, featuring 2 of the leaders in the Big East standings. There can be arguments made for both teams heading into this contest, but I think Xavier is the easy pick on Wednesday night. Both teams rely on their offense to win games, and Xavier has been better on that end of the court. Offensive-minded teams generally play better at home than on the road anyway, and the Musketeers' height should nullify Providence's offensive rebounding numbers. Our team pick is Xavier minus 3 points. Xavier is riding an 8-game home winning streak, and has covered the spread in 6 of its last 9 games. Georgetown Hoyas vs Creighton Blue Jays. The Creighton Blue Jays visit Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. on Wednesday for a Big East battle against the Georgetown Hoyas. Creighton improved to 13-8 overall, and 7-3 in Big East play following its 84-67 victory over the Xavier Musketeers on Saturday. The leading scorer for Creighton was Arthur Kaluma with 20 points. Creighton has won each of his last 4 and 7 of the last 9. I am not willing to lay this big of a number against a Georgetown team that has started to turn its season around. The Hoyas finally snapped their Big East losing streak 2 games ago, and they were in position to add another win their last time out. They have covered the spread in 4 of their last 5 games, yet they are still being disrespected by the betting market. Creighton has relied on its hot shooting to win some games this season, making the Blue Jays a team that I would prefer backing at home. Our team pick is Georgetown plus 13 points. This number is simply too large given Georgetown's recent success, so I'll take the Hoyas and the points on Wednesday.
Florida Gators vs Tennessee Volunteers. The Tennessee Volunteers, 18-3, are headed to Exactic Arena at Stephen C. O'Connell Center on Wednesday, where they will take on the Florida Gators, 12-9. The Tennessee Volunteers took the court against Texas and notched a win by a score of 82-71 in their last contest. Tennessee wrapped up the game having earned a 55.6% FG percentage, 30 of 54, and made 6 of their 19 shots from beyond the arc. At the charity stripe, the Volunteers buried 16 of their 23 attempts for a percentage of 69.6%. In terms of hauling in rebounds, Tennessee collected 35, with 10 of them being on the offensive end. The Volunteers also doled out 19 dimes for the contest, in addition to forcing 8 turnovers and getting 4 steals. This is too big of a game for the Volunteers to expect any sort of letdown. In essence, Tennessee is in a two-team race for the SEC regular season crown, and that outcome could ultimately determine whether or not the Volunteers earn a coveted number 1 seed in one of the 4 tournament regions. Tennessee just has too much talent for this Florida team. Florida was overwhelmed by K-State on Saturday, particularly the Wildcats' defense. Now they face arguably the best defense in the country in the Volunteers. Tennessee has the nation's number 1 scoring defense and number 1 3PT defense. The Volunteers also have more than enough scoring to get off and running and keep the Gators at bay. Our team pick is Tennessee for the win. I expect the Volunteers to dominate the interior, double Castleton in the post, and force Florida to try to beat them with the Gators' subpar perimeter shooting. Tennessee will roll in this spot. Richmond Spiders vs St. Bonaventure Bonnies. The St. Bonaventure Bonnies continuing road trip Wednesday night with a game in Richmond, VI against the Richmond Spiders. St. Bonaventure comes into Wednesday 11-11 on the year following a 3-point victory over VCU defensively. The Bonnies played great, allowing only 58 points on 45.1% shooting and forced 12 turnovers to secure the victory. Offensively, St. Bonaventure's played well, making 39.6% of their shots and 47.1% from beyond the arc to score 61 points, including 43 in the second half. I don't like the way Richmond is playing at this moment. They haven't been competitive in their last 3 games. They are one of those teams stuck in the middle that can beat some middle-of-the-pack and subpar teams, but struggle against the better Atlantic 10 squads. Neither team shot well in that first meeting, but the Spiders turned the ball over 15 times. Our team pick is St. Bonaventure plus 5 points. The Bonnies got over the hump with their win over VCU on the road. Banks and Flowers were tough to stop last time. Expect Florida to continue his strong play after scoring 15 points against a tough VCU team. North Carolina Tar Heels vs Pittsburgh Panthers. The North Carolina Tar Heels head home on Wednesday and will host the Pittsburgh Panthers. The Tar Heels beat Syracuse on Tuesday 72-68 on the road. Pete Nance led North Carolina in the win with 21 points. The Tar Heels are averaging 36.1 rebounds per game. Armando Backett leads UNC with 17.9 points per game and 11.4 rebounds per game. The first meeting between the teams this season was a 2-point margin in the Steel City, but the Panthers have to prove that they can earn wins on the road in conference play. Pitt is 5-2 on the road this season, but they lost to Duke, arguably their toughest road game of the year, and also dropped a game to Vanderbilt. North Carolina is a sparkling 10-0 as the home team this season, and they own a win over Charleston in the Dean Dome this season. The Tar Heels have a quartet of double-digit scoring options, and they are eager to avenge that loss in Pittsburgh earlier this season. North Carolina has momentum and home court on their side. Our team pick is North Carolina Tar Heels. Take the Tar Heels in this one as they make it 5 straight wins. Massachusetts vs George Mason. The UMass Minutemen and George Mason Patriots will play Wednesday at Eaglebank Arena. Tip-off from Fairfax, VI, is at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. The Patriots are 4.5-point spread favorites, and the game total is 144.5 points. UMass, 13-8 Sioux and 11-10 at TS, defeated Duquesne 87-79 on Saturday. The Minutemen are 3-2 straight up in their past 5 and 4-5 straight up in Atlantic 10 competition. George Mason, 12-10 SU and 11-11 at TS, was defeated 79-76 by St. Joe's on Sunday. The Patriots have won 2-3 straight up in their past 5 and 4-5 straight up in conference play. UMass will be without its leading scorer, Fernandez, due to an ankle injury, and Cross could miss Wednesday's game with an illness. Still, I like the Minutemen to win outright at George Mason. Luis has been exceptional this season for head coach Frank Martin's team and will carry the load once again. The Fab Frosh scored 23 against Richmond and 31 on 63.6% shooting last game versus Duquesne. He's awoken from a mid-December slump and hasn't looked back, scoring double-digit points each game since December 31st. The road team is 3-0-1 at TS in the last 4 meetings, and the underdog is 7-3-1 at TS in the last 11 meetings between these teams. With a spread at 4.5 points, I'm tempted by the UMass money line and will take it at plus 140 or higher. Our team pick is Minutemen Monet line. Let's win some money tonight. LaSalle Explorers vs George Washington Colonials. The LaSalle Explorers head home on Wednesday and will host the George Washington Colonials. The Explorers lost to Rhode Island by 2 points on Saturday in their last game. Josh Nickelberry led the Explorers in the loss with 16 points. Nickelberry is one of 2 LaSalle players who is averaging double-digit points per game. The Explorers have lost 5 straight games and 5 of their last 6 home games. They aren't very good offensively, even at home where they are scoring less than 68 points per game, while making less than 40% of their shots. They didn't rebound the ball as well as the Colonials in their last 3 games and won't get a lot of extra scoring opportunities against them. They've also been careless with the ball, which will lead to easy scoring opportunities for the Colonials, who average more than 5 steals per game on the road. Even though the Colonials aren't very good defensively, they are facing a team that has scored more than 70 points in a game only once in its last 5 games, so don't expect them to have a hard time keeping LaSalle's offense in check. The Colonials have won 4 of their last 6 games. They are very good offensively, even on the road where they are scoring more than 73 points per game. They did a great job rebounding the ball in their last 3 games, grabbing more than 40 rebounds per game. They've been aggressive on the offensive glass, which will give them more scoring opportunities. The Explorers aren't very good defensively, and they played worse in recent games, giving up more than 73 points per game in their last 3 games, so expect them to have a hard time slowing down the Explorers in this game. Our team pick is George Washington Colonials -1 point. Go with George Washington to cover the spread.